The world's biggest crypto exchange Binance narrowly faced bankruptcy due to the actions of its CEO Changpeng Zhao. Changpeng made controversial decisions that not only risked his money, but also millions of dollars that people had invested. Furthermore, this exchange was considered one of the safest, with a trading volume greater than the next four biggest exchanges combined. But behind the scenes, Binance was actually involved in illegal activities, and as many experts say, it was a walking time bomb. How was this million-dollar business actually built? What exactly did Changpeng do to cause this collapse? And what future awaits Binance in the upcoming years? The whole story starts with one young, confident man, Changpeng Zhao, also nicknamed as CZ. He was born in China, but when he was just 12 years old, he moved to Vancouver and became a Canadian citizen. Due to this move, he often traveled between the two countries. This constant change forced him to exchange money frequently to pay for things in the country he was currently in. At that time, cryptocurrency wasn't a thing, but it made him realize that we have flaws in the current financial system. By age 14, CZ was working at McDonald's and a gas station to support his family. He was also accepted into university in Montreal to study computer science. However, his first real career began with an internship at the Tokyo Stock Exchange, where he developed trade order software. Changpeng also worked at Bloomberg, creating software for options trading, but he still wasn't satisfied. In 2013, Zhao was running his own software company in Shanghai when he discovered Bitcoin during a poker game. Just a few days later, he met Vitalik Buterin, the founder of the Ethereum network, which sparked his interest in cryptocurrency even more. At that time, neither of them had any idea what they would eventually become. Just 1 year later, he sold his house in Shanghai and bought his first bitcoins at around $600 per coin. Subsequently, the price of Bitcoin dropped to an average of $200, wiping out his investment. However, even this didn't stop his confidence in the technology. After working at many crypto firms, Changpeng Zhao started his own, Binance, in 2017, together with Chief Marketing Officer Yi He, with whom he now has children. Just 143 days after launching, Binance was ranked among the top 3 crypto exchanges in the world. A few months later, they saw some incredible growth as the exchange went from 2 million users to over 10 million. The main aspect that set Binance apart from other exchanges was its behavior towards its users. For example, shortly after Binance launched, the Chinese government decided to shut down all cryptocurrency exchanges. They changed regulation policies and demanded that all exchanges return funds to investors. However, Zhao went a step beyond what the government was asking by refunding all Binance users their original assets at the original investment rate. Within just a few years, Zhao became one of the richest person in crypto. He participated in many crypto conferences, spending over 500 hours on airplanes in just 1 year by his own estimate. Although it seemed like he was unstoppable, his downfall was slowly approaching. In 2018, Japanese regulators issued a warning to Binance for operating without a proper registration. This was one of the first signs of trouble. Zhao managed to solve this problem by moving the company's base of operations to the cryptocurrency-friendly island of Malta to benefit from the regulations for the blockchain technology. Later on, Binance became known for onboarding new cryptocurrencies at a rapid rate. This, however, also caused controversy, as it was speculated that the new blockchain projects were paying upwards of 400 bitcoins to be listed on the exchange. And it wasn't the only thing people were discussing. In March 2018, hackers attempted a large-scale attack that took just under 2 minutes. Fortunately, Binance had systems in place to prevent the hackers from being successful. Following this attack, Binance announced a hacker bounty program, offering millions of dollars to anyone who could provide information about these hackers. They also created a secure asset fund for users in case it was needed. This pushed Binance even further in terms of security. But it still wasn't enough to prevent future attacks from happening. In May 2019, Binance was hacked again, and this time, the hackers succeeded in stealing $14 million worth of cryptocurrency. Changpeng didn't want to scare investors, so he dealt with this hack by covering the losses out of the secure asset fund instead of offloading the expense to their users. However, not only did Changpeng help people, he also had rivals that had to be destroyed. In November 2022, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges and also a big rival of Binance collapsed. It was none other than FTX with its CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried. And it was just Changpeng Zhao who played a key role in his downfall. Sam Bankman-Fried borrowed money from investors and loaned it to a trading firm Alameda Research, which he also owned. Alameda used FTX native tokens, FTT, as collateral for their loans. However, due to their risky investments, they lost everything. While people had no clue what was happening with their investments, Zhao felt like something was wrong and decided to sell all the FTT tokens that Binance held. And it wasn't a small bag. Their position was thought to be around 5% of the total, worth millions of dollars. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, Binance would liquidate its holding of FTT tokens, tweeted Zhao shortly after that. People started panicking, knowing FTX must have come to some problems. The smartest decision they could make was to follow Changpeng and sell all their FTT tokens. However, when they tried to do the same, they were shocked to find out that FTX had no money to be withdrawn. This led FTX to their official bankruptcy. Sam Bankman-Fried even tried contacting his rival for help, but after Zhao looked at FTX's financial situation, he turned his back on him. But it wasn't so clear from the beginning. Initially, Binance decided to help FTX by loaning money to cover their liquidity. However, Binance was here deceived and they haven't been told what financial problems FTX actually faced. After Zhao examined the situation in more detail, he decided not to continue in helping them. If he hadn't stopped it, Binance would likely have faced very big financial problems too. FTX then collapsed and Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced to decades in prison. Although there were some people pointing to Binance's wrong decisions, they at least got rid of their biggest enemy. Back then, Changpeng Zhao had no clue that he would soon follow Sam Bankman-Fried to prison. In 2021, things took a more serious turn. Binance got under investigation by the US Department of Justice and the Internal Revenue Service for potential money laundering and tax offenses. This raised serious questions about its business practices. In its early years, Binance allowed users to open accounts with very little personal information. This minimal verification process enabled people to trade large amounts of cryptocurrency without revealing their identities. They were also accused of not doing enough to stop users from using mixing services. These services combine many transactions, making it hard to track where the money came from. This is a very common technique used in money laundering, which Binance was later found to be associated with. There were also accusations that Binance or its employees were involved in the market manipulation. This means they might have used confidential information to make trades, which is unfair to other traders and undermines trust in the platform. Throughout these challenges, Zhao remained very confident. He was often reassuring investors that Binance was cooperating with regulators and making only the necessary changes. In response to this pressure, Binance hired regulators and compliance experts, implemented stricter KYC protocols, and even limited certain high-risk trading activities. But it still wasn't enough. Despite these efforts, the problems continued. In 2021, the UK government banned Binance from conducting activities in the country due to the operating without legal permissions. Other countries like Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands followed this with very similar restrictions. After that, Binance faced several lawsuits and was fined for not following legal requirements. These penalties added to the pressure on the company to change its practices. However, Zhao hadn't taken enough steps to get Binance out of all of the problems. In April 2024, Changpeng Zhao was sentenced to 4 months in prison for looking the other way as criminals used the platform to move money. These money were connected to drug trafficking, child sex abuse, and terrorist groups like Hamas, the Islamic State, and Al-Qaeda. Binance had refused to comply with American sanctions, allowing access to customers in countries like Iran, Syria, Cuba, and also failed to report suspicious transactions related to narcotics. Zhao stated that if Binance had followed US regulations from the start, it wouldn't have grown as large as it is today. He also advised his employees that it is often better to ask for forgiveness than permission. But unlike Mr. Bankman-Fried, Zhao pleaded guilty to only a single criminal count. He admitted that he had failed to establish an adequate anti-money laundering system and also regretted everything. Although initially he faced 3 years in prison, the judge decided to shorten it because he found Zhao to be a dedicated family man and a giving person who is unlikely to break the law again. As part of his agreement with the Justice Department, Zhao stepped down as Binance CEO and was ordered to pay a $50 million fine. The US also ordered Binance to pay $4.3 billion in fines. This negative information shook the markets and caused people to worry. Fortunately, Binance had enough money to get out of the situation without causing any major problems. But what left people uncertain is the new leader of this world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. When Changpeng Zhao stepped down as Binance CEO, the future of the company remained uncertain, but not for long. Shortly after that, Zhao named Richard Teng as the new CEO of this cryptocurrency exchange. And with this one, there shouldn't be any issues with regulations. Teng was formerly the CEO of the Abu Dhabi Global Market, the United Arab Emirates Capitals Regulator, and he also served as director of the corporate finance at the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Zhao described him as a highly qualified leader with over 3 decades of financial services and regulatory experience. Teng also said that Binance will be here with us forever and that it is stronger than ever before. And who else would you believe more than a person who was a regulator in the United Arab Emirates? And what about Zhao? Since his guilty plea, he has remained in the United States after a judge rejected his request to return home to Dubai. He has spent a few months traveling across the country, including visits to New York, Los Angeles and Telluride. Zhao has also networked with other people and created an online educational platform called Giggle Academy, which he said would involve artificial intelligence. He has also spoken with many startups working in biotechnology, an area in which he's interested in investing. Zhao said that he can't see himself being a CEO driving a startup again. However, he is open to being a coach to a small number of upcoming entrepreneurs. If for nothing else, I can at least tell them what not to do, he said shortly after. If you like this video, I would be very happy if you could like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are slowly approaching 200 subs and it would be my big dream to reach it. If you didn't like it, please write at least a comment on what should I improve. Goodbye.